Howdy, and welcome back to Celebrating Vintage Model Kits. Going to be doing a comparison of two kits of the same helicopter, Matchbox and Frog boxings of the Westland Lynx. And these both came out at the same time, 1974. We've got the Matchbox one here and the Frog one here, of course. The boxings are a little tattered, so that's why I didn't do an individual one on it, focusing on the individual kit, but more this is comparing, how the two different companies approached making the kit. So we'll, see what the differences are and maybe kind of determine which one may have been a better kit at the time. So this one here's got great artwork on the cover by Roy Huxley, who was the resident box artist for Matchbox when they started. This one here has box art that's done by Gordon Davies, and different styles of artwork, but they're both showing the naval version of the Lynx. This one in the French markings, this one in the Royal Navy markings. Interesting, this one's got the torpedoes being launched. The next boxing of this revised the artwork, as a lot of the Matchbox ones got rid of any kind of destruction, warfare, calamity going on, and cleaned them up and sanitized them. And so the next boxing of this just has the helicopters. The image has been adjusted, but the torpedoes are gone. So kind of different. Both are in 72nd scale. And side of this one's got other kits available from Matchbox. This one's got information in various different languages from Frog, a lot of different languages. And this side's got a plug for their sky base. And this side shows the built kit in the typical Matchbox multicolor plastic, showing what it would look like if you just left it in the raw plastic and just applied the decals. And then a little history of the Lynx itself. On the end, we've got our kit number, PK108, for the Matchbox kit, repeat of the box art. And this one has the kit number F256, repeat of the top box art. Same things on this side. And the bottom of your Frog kit has got 4-view color, in this case 5-view also, of the two different decal that were available, color callouts, and looks like we've got specifics of them. This one here is of the second French Navy prototype, and this one here is the engine development unit that was seconded to Rolls-Royce, and was able to find images of both of these two aircraft, so I'll put those at the end of the video, but they are real aircraft. And then we got made in England by Rovex. Bottom side of the Matchbox has 2-view colors, color images of the marking options. You've got naval anti-submarine strike version, so this would be what they were expecting, a squadron service aircraft, even though this doesn't enter service until 76, 77. This is what they're expecting it to look like. And then this one here is the first one that was issued to the Army, and this is an actual real aircraft. This one, I think, may be a little spurious, thinking what it was going to look like. Was not able to find any images of this, but was able to find images of this one. So, again, that'll be included at the end of the video. Now, on the Frog one, this time period when you open their box, they utilized every inch of the boxing. So on the bottom, the wraparound in color as well. And this is where they're showing their other kits available. So you get to see a few more than what you see on the Matchbox kit. Okay, so now let's take a look at what we got inside. Start making some comparison. So you got a side opener with the window on the Matchbox. And let's start out with instructions. So for your frog, you got information here in multiple languages again. Basic information about the helicopter itself. Tips on how to assemble plastic kits. Photograph of helicopter, which I think this is actually the helicopter. It's represented by the decals. And then showing you got your choice here. They're having you pick your landing gear at the beginning. A little bit of cockpit detail. There's your tail rotor, torpedo, and it's looking like, depending on which version, they've got the serial number on here, or the aircraft number, showing you which versions you're supposed to do. So a little bit difference in the nose setup on these two. And looks like something different here. It's probably for where the landing gear is going to go, I assume. The rotor's the same. Rotor's the same. All those parts appear to be the same. Oh, nope. There's a difference between these two. Showing the assembly of the gear, the landing gear, to the fuselage. And then if you're going to be putting torpedoes on or not. And there's your instructions for the frog. And then we'll compare it to the Matchbox. In a standard style of Matchbox side opening. And we've got color callouts and basic assembly, information, stand, other kits in the series, and then detail painting of some of the parts, color callouts. So this shows you the cockpit. Looks like a little bit more detail, maybe. All one piece fuselage instead of the tail boom being separate. Some top parts here, rotor, sponsons. Other parts going on. Looks like different noses, having your choices. And then here's your gear option difference. Skids your wheels. And then it's putting torpedoes on. And there's a full list of kits from them. There's your instructions. Decal wise, not in the best shape. These are your Matchbox decals. And somewhat simple. Looks like, yeah, about the same quality of stuff. Sizings definitely look a little different for the different parts, whether it's serial number or even the roundels are different sizings. So, kind of a toss-up between the two. And let's look at the plastic, compare that. Let's start with the fuselage. So here's our Matchbox. So we got some raised panel lining, a little bit of recessed stuff. Not too bad. Matchbox is kind of known for doing some pretty heavy recessed lines, and there's not a lot of it on here. And what is there is not too terribly bad. And let's compare that to, say, your frog. And I think you're getting a little bit more detail out of the frog one, although you do have a separate door on the Matchbox. The detailing on the frog seems to be a little bit finer. Here's the engine deck. Frog one does have openings for those intakes, which the Matchbox does not. different way of kind of putting that all together. As far as interior goes, nothing on the interior of that one. Really nothing on the interior of this one either. And let's see, let's look at the rotor hub comparison. Where's that here? Okay, so that's this one here. So you can see the difference between those two. Looks like the Frog one's got a little bit more detail going to it. And what else we got on here? A little bit of detail parts. We'll skip that. This one's got tail rotor. Let's see, where's the tail rotor here? All right, here's our tail rotor. We can compare those two. And looks like the Frog one, again, has a little bit more detail to it. Yeah. As far as the cockpit goes, you do have more detail, I think, on the Matchbox one. So it's got some representation of some of the panel lining and whatnot. There's your center column. The Frog one appears to be just really plain, not much to it. So I'd say Matchbox wins on the interior. But you do get the doors that can be put open or closed. Here's our rotor blades. Let's see, where's the rotor blades on this? There we go. So the rotor blades on the Matchbox, I think, are probably more detailed. Interesting. As an aside, the Lynx, I think, still holds the world's record for speed for helicopter at 249 point something miles an hour. Lynx can also roll and loop. It's a pretty hot ship. Okay, so that is your rotors. What else can we compare? Maybe the weapons. So we've got the torpedoes here from Frog. And here's the torpedoes, at least the rear of the torpedoes, from Matchbox. The Frog ones. And again, it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. The main torpedo bodies look good on the Frog, but the Matchbox has got the blades. Okay, and let's see, what else can we look at? Landing skids. Okay, let's see what those look like on the Frog compared to Matchbox. So one piece with the struts and the skid. Definitely a difference in size. I'm going to say that the Frog ones look like they're probably a little bit more accurate, a little bit of detail. Landing gear wise, so here's the gears on those. Let's see, where's the gear? There's the gear for Matchbox, and yeah, I'm going to give that to Frog. And then, stand-wise, Frog gives you this kind of universal stand, which could be mounted on a wall as well. A little bit more substantial than the Matchbox one. Big Matchbox M. So I think you could probably do a little bit more posing with this one than you can with the Matchbox. And finally, let's look at some clear parts. See what we got going here. So the Frog kit, it's definitely got smoother I'm sorry, this is the frog one. So the frog one's got molded on. Windshield wipers, a little heavier on the framing. Appears to be maybe a little bit thinner. These are both kind of scratched up a bit. Frog one's a little bit more curved and rounded, whereas the Matchbox one's a little squarer. Then side windows wise, Frog's got some dimples, and Matchbox does not. So you get 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You got some nicer points on one, but some, yeah. So there you have it. That is your 2 kits. Overall, I'd say, these are really kind of a toss-up. What more specifically are you looking for out of your kit would kind of determine which one you'd want to go with. Because, as I said, in a lot of cases, they both have benefits and drawbacks on each one of these. Probably, going by history-wise, the Matchbox kits usually go together really well and slick. So that may be a bit of an advantage. I've never assembled a Frog helicopter kit. It looks like, it's nothing that really stands out as being difficult with it. But, just going off of history, I'd say the Matchbox is probably a little easier to assemble, maybe a little more fun. Especially if you like the 2-color stuff, or if the decal markings, you have something specific about the decal markings you like, might determine it. But otherwise, they seem to be kind of a toss-up between these two. So there you have it, your Matchbox and Frog Lynx. If you've built either one of these or both, tell us about it in the comment section. If you got one of these sitting on your shelf, take a picture of it, send it in for our next viewer build video. The email address is in the channel description. And that's about it for today. Well, thanks for watching. And as always, have yourself a great rest of your day.